Listen closely. Before we begin, let me welcome you in a way no one ever will. Welcome to the part of your life that nobody claps for. Welcome to the nights that burn quiet, the mornings that arrive without mercy, and the moments when you look in the mirror and realize something inside you changed. Not softly, not gently, but violently. You broke your old self apart, and now there's something new standing in its place. Something that doesn't flinch anymore. Something that doesn't beg for peace but commands it. You're here because you've seen the edge, because you've looked at the storm and thought, fine, let's see who survives. Most people will never understand what it feels like to drag yourself out of nothing. They'll never understand what it costs to rebuild when your bones ache and your faith bleeds. They'll look at you and whisper, that's not normal. And they're right. No, that wasn't normal. That was some straight up demon energy. Because what lives inside you now was born from fire. It was forged from every moment you could have given up but didn't. You were supposed to stay broken, but you didn't. You were supposed to vanish quietly, but you refused. You kept walking through the smoke, through the laughter, through the silence, through the fear. That's not normal. That's something else. There are people who train their bodies, and then there are people who train their souls. The second kind. They don't need applause. They don't need validation. They move through life like ghosts with purpose. Every scar they carry tells a story of transformation. Every mistake is a lesson written in the language of survival. When the world said, stay down, they whispered back, watch me rise. You don't get to this level by chance. You don't unlock this energy by wishing for it. You earn it by walking through fire barefoot and daring the flames to burn hotter. People say you changed. Of course you did. You had to. You outgrew the version of yourself that accepted less. You destroyed the version that believed the lies. You became your own storm. When they said you were too much, you learned to be more. When they said you were impossible, you made the impossible look routine. That's what it means to walk with that inner darkness. Not the kind that destroys, but the kind that transforms. You took pain and turned it into precision. You took fear and turned it into fuel. Every time someone looked at you and said, who even does stuff like this? They were really saying, I don't understand how you survive like that. And that's fine. They're not supposed to. Because this path isn't built for normal people. It's built for the ones who refuse to settle. The ones who've seen too much, felt too deeply, and realized there's only one way forward. Through. You can't fake this kind of resilience. You can't pretend your way into this kind of power. It's earned through sweat, isolation, and the courage to face your own reflection when it's hardest to look. Let them call it strange. Let them whisper. Let them question your calm when chaos surrounds you. Let them talk about how you disappeared for a while, how you started speaking differently, walking differently, moving differently. They don't understand that those were the seasons of rebirth. While they were sleeping, you were sharpening. While they were complaining, you were building. While they were doubting, you were planning. You weren't lost, you were evolving. There's a moment when pain stops being pain and becomes clarity. That's when everything slows down. You stop reacting and start calculating. You stop running and start walking forward with certainty. You learn that not every fight deserves your energy. Not every battle is meant to be won. And not every person deserves a seat at your table. That's the calm that frightens people the most. The calm of someone who's already been through the worst and came back colder, stronger, wiser. You remember those nights when your hands shook, when your voice broke, when your thoughts tried to drown you? Those weren't weaknesses. They were the training ground for your future self. You were being sculpted by struggle. Every tear carved something sharper in you. Every failure taught you how to fight smarter. The universe doesn't hand strength, it demands it, and you paid the price. So now, when people say, that wasn't normal, smile. They're right. It wasn't. Because normal would have quit. Normal would have folded. Normal would have looked at the weight and said, too heavy. You didn't. You lifted it anyway. You carried it alone when no one saw, when no one cheered, when no one cared. And that's what made you dangerous in the best way possible. Not dangerous to others, but to doubt, to fear, to limitation. You've been underestimated so long that your silence has become your sharpest weapon. You don't explain anymore. You don't prove. You let your results speak. You let your consistency echo. You let your focus whisper louder than any speech ever could. People will see the new version of you and assume it came easy. They won't see the nights you wrestled your own thoughts. They won't see the mornings you forced yourself out of bed when your soul felt heavy. They won't see the discipline you built when motivation vanished. They'll see the strength, but never the struggle. And that's okay. The darkness doesn't ask for witnesses. What you carry now is sacred. It's the memory of every time you didn't give up. It's the proof that your pain had purpose. It's the reminder that you were built in silence for a reason. You don't owe the world explanations for your growth. You don't owe anyone a softer version of yourself just to make them comfortable. If they can't handle the power you've become, they were never meant to stand beside it. And yes, people will call it cold. They'll say you've changed. They'll say you've become distant. But distance isn't always detachment. It's discipline. You're not running away. You're rising above. You're not isolating. You're elevating. You've learned that peace isn't found in pleasing others. It's found in mastering yourself. There will be days when the old world tries to pull you back. When the voices of doubt start whispering again. When comfort calls your name. That's when you remind yourself, nah, that wasn't normal. That was survival. That was transformation. That was the birth of something the world rarely sees. A human who refused to break. That's not darkness for destruction. That's darkness for awakening. Because you see, the truth is this. No one is coming to save you. No one is coming to hand you your purpose. You have to build it, breath by breath, step by step, in silence. You have to become the kind of force that doesn't wait for permission. You have to look at the storm and say, if this is where I'm meant to grow, then let it rain harder. There's beauty in the madness if you learn to look closely. There's meaning in the struggle if you're patient enough to endure it. The strongest souls are never born in light. They're born in shadows, raised by pain and crowned by persistence. You are one of them. That's why the world doesn't understand you. That's why your silence feels loud. That's why your calm feels powerful. Because you've seen too much to ever go back. Let them say it again. Who even does things like this? The answer is simple. You do. The one who wasn't supposed to make it. The one who turned heartbreak into hunger. The one who took rejection and built resilience. The one who stopped waiting for miracles and became one. That's you. You're the proof that endurance can be elegant, that strength can be silent, and that faith can live in the same heart that's been broken 1,000 times. So walk forward with that quiet fire. Carry your scars like medals. Let your shadow follow proudly. It's the story of everything you survived. And when you look around and realize the room is empty, don't panic. That emptiness means you've stepped into a new level. That silence means the noise behind you can't reach anymore. You've outgrown what used to break you. Remember this always. Peace is not found by avoiding the storm. It's found by mastering yourself within it. The real power doesn't shout, it moves with purpose. The real strength doesn't show off, it just endures. You don't have to prove your worth anymore. You already did, every time you stood up after falling. No, that wasn't normal. That was something divine disguised as madness. That was transformation disguised as chaos. That was the creation of someone the world wasn't ready for, but desperately needs. So keep walking, keep building, keep burning quietly until the world finally looks up and says, "Who even does stuff like this?" You'll smile then, because you'll know the truth. It wasn't normal. It was necessary. You know what's strange? When you finally rise, people don't remember your silence. They remember your roar. But that roar was born in the quiet. It was crafted in the hidden hours, the ones where you sat alone, convincing yourself to keep breathing, to keep moving, to keep believing in something you couldn't even see yet. That's where the real transformation happened. In the moments no one talks about. Because when you walk this kind of path, you stop chasing approval. You stop craving recognition. You realize that validation is just another form of dependency, and dependency is another form of weakness. The strong don't need applause. They need purpose. The driven don't need attention. They need alignment. And that's what separates you now. You're not doing it for eyes anymore. You're doing it because this is who you've become. You started from pain, but now you move from power. That's the difference. The pain used to control you. Now it fuels you. You don't resist it anymore. You use it. You've learned that pain is the most honest teacher you'll ever have. It doesn't flatter. It doesn't lie. It doesn't comfort. It strips you down to the truth. And once you've met yourself in that raw, uncomfortable place, no one can ever touch you the same way again. That's what frightens people. They can't manipulate someone who's already met their own darkness. They can't break someone who's already rebuilt themselves from ashes. You've reached a point where fear becomes an old language you no longer speak. You don't need to announce your strength. It's in your presence, your tone, your silence. You remember those days when you kept giving to people who only took? When you tried to explain your vision to those who couldn't even see themselves clearly? That version of you had to die. You had to learn that not everyone is meant to understand your journey, because not everyone is built for the same storms. Some are here to test you, some to teach you, and a few to walk beside you. But the path itself, that's yours alone. And on that path, you'll lose people. You'll lose comfort. You'll lose versions of yourself you thought were permanent. But what you'll gain in return, peace, purpose, power, is worth every loss. That's why I say again, nah, that wasn't normal. That was evolution. That was your soul remembering what it was made of. There's something sacred about refusing to give up when everything around you says you should. It's a quiet defiance. It's not loud. It doesn't announce itself. It just keeps going. Step after step, breath after breath, until one day you look up and realize the storm isn't chasing you anymore. You've outlasted it. You've become the calm the chaos bows to. When they see you now, they'll see composure, but you'll know, behind that calm lies every sleepless night, every heartbreak, every loss, every doubt that you turned into armor. You built this version of yourself piece by piece, lesson by lesson. That's why it feels unshakable. You didn't inherit it, you earned it. People will ask, what changed? And you'll say, everything. You stopped waiting for things to get easier. You stopped expecting people to understand. You stopped hoping for shortcuts. You stopped begging life to be fair and started demanding that you rise regardless. That's the turning point. When you realize life owes you nothing, but your potential owes you everything. Every morning you wake up now, you're facing a choice. Stay ordinary or stay obsessed. Stay comfortable or stay committed. You've tasted the difference and you know comfort is the slowest kind of death. You can't unsee what your struggle showed you. You can't go back to being half alive. And that's what makes this story powerful. Not the success, not the achievement, but the resilience. The way you learn to stand still in the storm and whisper, is that all you've got? That's the kind of energy that rewrites destinies. That's the kind of mindset that turns pressure into diamonds. You've reached a place where silence has become your best friend. Not because you have nothing to say, but because you've realized not everything deserves your words. You've seen that peace isn't passive, it's protection. You guard your energy now, you know your worth, and you're not afraid to walk away from anything that doesn't honor it. You've grown into someone who no longer needs to prove they can survive. You already have. Now, you're learning how to thrive. You're learning that your story isn't about revenge or validation or proving them wrong. It's about proving yourself right. It's about living in such alignment that even your silence inspires. Because the truth is, you've already done the hardest part. You've faced yourself. You've confronted your fears, your habits, your wounds. You've sat in the darkness long enough to understand that it wasn't trying to destroy you. It was trying to prepare you. It was shaping you for the kind of light that doesn't flicker when the wind blows. So when people look at you and say, that wasn't normal, don't defend it. Agree with them. Smile and let them wonder, because they'll never know the strength it took to become what you are now. They'll never understand the discipline it takes to wake up every day and build something that doesn't even exist yet. But that's okay. You didn't do it for them. You did it because there was a voice inside you that refused to die. That voice whispered to you when no one else did. It said, keep going. It said, one more step. It said, you were made for this. And that voice, that's the real you. That's the part of you that the world tried to silence but couldn't. That's the part that turned pain into prophecy. And now you stand here, not as a survivor, but as something more. You're a builder of your own destiny, a creator of your own reality. You've mastered the art of endurance, and now you're learning the art of expansion. Because surviving was the lesson, but thriving is the reward. You'll notice now that the things that used to scare you don't even move you anymore. The problems that used to break you now feel small. That's growth. That's perspective. That's the reward for walking through the fire instead of running from it. So when someone looks at you with confusion and says, who even does things like this? Just know they're witnessing greatness in motion. They're witnessing a level of dedication that most will never understand. They're witnessing what happens when a person decides to stop being normal and start being necessary. You weren't created to blend in. You were created to break patterns. You were made to disrupt mediocrity. You were born to remind the world what happens when pain meets persistence. That's why you feel different. That's why you think differently. That's why you move differently. You've been shaped by something the world can't see, but it can feel it when you walk in. You're not here to chase the light. You are here to become it, to carry it through the darkest places, to show that even in the coldest silence, something inside can still burn bright. That's what you've become. The reminder that strength doesn't always roar. Sometimes it just breathes steadily in the dark. And when the world world tells you it's too much, too far, too hard, remember this moment. Remember what it cost you to reach this point. Remember that you didn't come this far just to prove them wrong. You came this far to prove yourself unbreakable. Nah, that wasn't normal. That was destiny, wearing the mask of difficulty. That was your purpose being tested by your pain. That was your becoming. And when it's all said and done, when the dust settles and the lights fade, and people ask again, who even does stuff like this? You'll know. It was you. The one who refused to quit when quitting was easier. The one who built peace out of chaos. The one who turned scars into blueprints. The one who made the impossible look inevitable. You. Unstoppable. Unbreakable. Unforgettable. You ever notice how everyone disappears when your world falls apart? How the room gets quiet, the messages slow down, the calls fade. At first it hurts, then it teaches. You learn that silence is not punishment, it's preparation. Life removes the noise so you can finally hear yourself think. It strips you of comfort so you can rebuild from truth. That's the season most people never survive. The quiet rebuilding, the invisible climb, the transformation that happens when no one is watching. Those lonely nights, that was training. Those uncertain mornings, that was discipline being born. The tears you hid, that was your soul cleansing itself of weakness. Every single time you thought it was over, something in you refused to break. That something is what I'm talking to right now. The unyielding part of you that no loss, no rejection, no fear could destroy. You know what's wild? You never asked to be strong. You were just placed in situations that left you no choice. You didn't pray for resilience, but life gave it to you anyway. Because somewhere deep down, it knew you were built for this. You were never meant to live small. You were meant to become a storm that walks in human form. And that's why normal doesn't fit you anymore. That's why you feel restless around comfort. That's why silence feels more honest than words. You've outgrown the world that raised you. You've evolved beyond the limits they placed on you. You no longer need approval because you've already met your purpose. And it speaks louder than any applause ever could. Every scar you carry, every failure you remember, every time you fell and got back up, those are the receipts of your evolution. People talk about success like it's a destination. They don't realize it's a consequence. It's what happens when you stop running from pain and start walking with it. Pain taught you precision. Loss taught you focus. Failure taught you patience. Every hard thing you went through was shaping something in you. You didn't know it then, but life was building endurance in silence. The same silence that used to scare you now feels like home. And when you finally stepped out of that dark place, the world looked different. Colors were sharper, air felt heavier, people felt louder. Because you've seen what real quiet feels like. The kind of quiet that only comes after you've screamed all your fear out into the void and realized you're still here. That's why you move the way you do now. Slow, calculated, intentional. You don't chase anymore. You attract. You don't prove anymore. You perform. You don't talk about it. You live it. You've learned that the loudest people usually have the weakest roots. The ones who talk too much about strength rarely survive real struggle. But you earned your silence. You learned to let your work speak. Because you understand that words fade, but consistency echoes. When people say, "How did you do it?" you won't have a simple answer. Because it wasn't one moment, it wasn't one victory, it was thousands of tiny choices. Ladies and gentlemen, they thought you'd crumble. Didn't they thought you'd fall to your knees? plead for them to stay, but oh, how wrong they were. You stood tall, proud, and unshaken. And now they know. Now, they see the strength in you that they never imagined existed, the resilience, the fire that burns within you, and the unwavering belief in your worth. They thought you would beg like the others, those who have been reduced to mere shadows of themselves, those who have forgotten their worth in exchange for fleeting moments of validation. But not you, not for a second. Did you consider doing what they expected you to do? Because deep down, you knew the truth that no one could take from you, no one could steal, no matter how hard they tried. You knew your worth, they didn't, and that's why they were so desperate to see you fail, so desperate to break you, so desperate to make you feel like you were less than everything you are. But in their eyes, you only became more and more untouchable. The more they tried to break you, the stronger you became, because you were never afraid to walk alone when the path demanded it, because you were never afraid to leave behind what no longer served you. You knew your worth, and in that knowledge, you became unstoppable. They tried to reduce you. They tried to make you feel small. They tried to convince you that you were nothing without them, that you were nothing without their approval, without their permission to exist in the way that you do. They thought they could control you, manipulate you to make you beg for their acceptance. But what they failed to realize is that you were never asking for their approval because you didn't need it. You knew your value. You knew that you could stand on your own 2 feet and build a life that was yours and yours alone. You knew that your success was not dependent on anyone else's acknowledgement. Your power was not in their hands, it was in yours. And that scared them because they realized too late that they couldn't control you. They couldn't break you. They couldn't mold you into something that would fit their narrative because you were already whole, already complete, already everything they could never be. You see, they thought they had power over you. They thought they could wear you down, break your spirit, until you were begging for crumbs, begging for scraps, begging for anything they would give. But they underestimated you. They underestimated your resolve, your strength, your unyielding belief in yourself, and the fact that you would never settle for less than what you deserved. And now they are forced to watch as you rise, as you continue to thrive, as you flourish in ways they never thought possible, because they failed to recognize the one thing that made you different from them. They failed to recognize the power of your belief in your own worth, and it terrified them, because they knew deep down that if you ever truly embraced it, they would have nothing left to control. They would have nothing left to take from you. And that's why they tried so hard to break you. But all they did was make you stronger. All they did was fuel the fire that burns within you. And now you stand at the top of the mountain looking down at them, wondering why they ever thought you would kneel before them. They wanted you to plead. They wanted you to show weakness. They wanted to see you falter just for a moment, just for long enough for them to swoop in and take control again. But that was never going to happen, not with you. Because you understand something. They never will. Your worth is not for sale. Your dignity is not for rent. Your self-respect is not negotiable. They tried to bargain with your soul, but you weren't having it. You didn't need their approval. You didn't need their validation. You didn't need their love, because the truth is you gave yourself all of that a long time ago. You loved yourself enough to know that you deserved better than what they were offering you. You respected yourself enough to walk away from what no longer served you. You valued yourself enough to stand firm in your truth, even when it made them uncomfortable. And now they have to watch as you soar, as you rise above the lies, the manipulation, the games they played because you refused to let them define you. They tried to make you feel inferior. They tried to make you question your own abilities. They tried to convince you that you were nothing without their influence, without their presence in your life. But you refused to listen moment you allowed them to control your perception of yourself, you would be lost. You knew that the moment you allowed their words to take root in your mind, you would be reduced to nothing more than a puppet, controlled by their strings. So instead, you chose to walk away. You chose to let go of everything that was holding you back. And you chose to walk forward with your head held high, because you knew that you had the power to create your own destiny. You knew that your worth wasn't tied to anyone else's opinion of you. It was tied to your own understanding of who you are and what you are capable of. And that is why you stand here today, unbroken and unstoppable. You see, the reason they wanted you to plead, the reason they wanted you to beg, was because it gave them a false sense of power, a false sense of control. But what they didn't realize is that power isn't about control. It's about strength. It's about knowing who you are and what you stand for, and never compromising on that. It's about refusing to be manipulated, refusing to be used as a pawn in someone else's game. And that's what you did. You refused to play by their rules. You refused to kneel before them. And as a result, you've become more powerful than they could ever imagine. Because true power doesn't come from domination. It comes from self-mastery. It comes from knowing that no one can take away what you've built inside yourself. No one can take away your sense of self-worth. And that's why they will never be able to break you, because you are already whole. You are already complete. And nothing they do or say can ever change that. They thought you would beg for their love, their approval, their attention. But what they didn't know is that you already gave all of that to yourself. A long time ago, you learned to love yourself when no one else did. You learned to accept yourself when the world rejected you. You learned to believe in yourself when no one else did. And that made all the difference, because once you understand your own worth, no one can ever take that from you. No one can ever diminish you. No one can ever make you feel less than what you are, because you have already claimed your power. And now they are forced to watch as you continue to rise, as you continue to succeed in ways they never thought possible, because while they were trying to break you, you were building something far more powerful than they could ever understand. They wanted you to plead. They wanted you to show them that you were desperate, that you needed them. But the truth is, they were the ones who were desperate. They were desperate to control you, desperate to make you feel small, because in doing so, they could feel bigger. But what they didn't realize is that you were never theirs to control. You were never theirs to dominate. You were always your own person. And now, they are left to watch as you rise to the heights they could never reach. Because while they were too busy trying to break you, you were too busy building an empire that no one could ever tear down. And now, as you stand here today, unshaken, unbroken, proud and strong, they know the truth. They know that you are a force to be reckoned with. They know that you will never beg. You will never plead. You will never compromise on your worth. And that is why they fear you, because deep down they know that once you fully embrace your power, once you fully embrace your worth, they will have no place left in your life, because you have become the person they could never be. And now you are free to live life on your own terms, free to build your own future, free to create your own destiny, because you knew your worth long before they ever did. And now it is your time to shine your time, to show the world what you are made of. Your time to show them what happens when you refuse to beg for something you already have. Inside yourself, the power, the strength, the confidence to stand tall and never apologize for who you are. Never apologize for the strength that runs through your veins, for the fire that burns in your heart, for the relentless drive that propels you forward. Never apologize for your ambition, for your vision, or for the fierce independence that you fought so hard to build. You owe no one an explanation for your greatness. You owe no one an apology for the way you carry yourself, with a sense of purpose, with a knowing that only comes from understanding your worth, your value. Those who are intimidated by your confidence, by your refusal to shrink or dim your light, are simply reflecting their own insecurities. They want you to shrink. They want you to play small. They want you to bow down, to plead, to show them that you need their approval, that you need their validation. But you never needed it, not then, and not now. And as they look on with eyes full of resentment and disbelief, it is their own reflection they see. One of weakness, one of fear, one of a desperation that they tried to project onto you, but you saw right through it. You saw who you were long before they did, and you know now, more than ever, that they were never meant to be part of your story. And for that, you stand tall. You stand tall, not because life has been kind, not because you've had it easy, but because you've fought for every inch of ground you've gained. Every step forward was hard-earned. Every success, hard-won. Every breakthrough came after countless failures and setbacks. You knew that the road would be difficult, but you chose to walk it anyway, because you understood something fundamental, that your worth is not determined by the opinions of others, by the setbacks you've faced, or by the people who tried to hold you back. Your worth is inherent in you. It's something that cannot be stolen, something that cannot be taken away. The battles you fought, the losses you endured, the heartbreak you experienced, none of them were a reflection of your worth. They were simply tests of your resilience, of your character. And now, as you stand in your truth, you know that those tests were never meant to break you. They were meant to shape you into the powerful force you are today. And still, they try to bring you down. They still try to make you feel small, insignificant, as if you need their approval to keep moving forward, to keep succeeding. They see the way you move through life, with grace, with confidence, with certainty, and they resent it because they could never do what you've done. They could never rise above the struggles you've overcome. They could never summon the courage to stand tall in the face of adversity the way you do. And so, they attack. They belittle you. They attempt to undermine you. They want to see you fail. But what they don't understand is that their attempts only make you stronger. Their words only fuel the fire within you. You don't need their approval, their support, or their recognition. You never have. You are more than enough just as you are. You've built yourself from the ground up, piece by piece, brick by brick, and nothing, no one, can ever tear that down. You were never afraid to walk alone. You were never afraid to take the path less traveled, the path that others were too afraid to walk, because you knew that it was only by stepping out on your own, by embracing the uncomfortable, the unknown, that you would truly grow. And grow you have. The person you are today is not the person you were yesterday. You've evolved, transformed, and transcended all the limitations that others tried to place on you. And each time they tried to bring you down, to diminish you, to make you feel less than what you are, you only rose higher. You turned their attempts to break you into fuel for your fire, transforming the pain, the rejection, the betrayal into something powerful. And now, as you look back on everything you've overcome, you can see it for what it truly is. The making of a warrior, the forging of a soul that refuses to be broken. You were never meant to be ordinary. You were meant to be extraordinary. And that's why they can't stand it. Because your greatness, your strength, your power, it's undeniable. It's something they can't ignore, something they can't pretend isn't there. And that's why they try so hard to bring you down. But no matter what they do, they can't touch what you've built inside yourself. They can't touch your essence, your spirit, your soul, because that is yours and yours alone. And you never have to apologize for that. They may try to twist the narrative, to paint you as the villain in their story. They may try to make you seem like the one who is in the wrong, the one who caused the problems, the one who should feel guilty for standing up for yourself, for refusing to settle for less than what you deserve. But the truth is, they are only projecting their own guilt, their own insecurities onto you. They are the ones who are uncomfortable with your strength, with your refusal to beg for their approval, with your unshakable belief in your own worth. They need you to kneel before them because they are too afraid to stand on their own. They need you to question yourself because they can't bear to see you thrive without them. But you don't need them. You never did. And that's the part they can't stand. The fact that you've become everything they could never be, everything they tried to hold you back from becoming. You are your own person. You are your own source of strength. And the world is finally starting to see that. You see, when you stop begging for validation, when you stop pleading for approval, you give yourself the ultimate power. You take back control over your life. You stop letting others dictate your worth, your path, your future. And when you take back control, you stop being a puppet in someone else's game. You stop allowing others to define you, to tell you who you should be, what you should want, how you should live. You stop living by their rules, and instead, you create your own. You build your own future, your own success, your own happiness. And the moment you do that, you become untouchable. You become unstoppable. You become a force that no one can control. And that's the fear they have, isn't it? The fear that you will realize just how much power you have, just how much you're capable of achieving without them. They fear that you will rise above them, above their influence, above their manipulation. They fear that you will realize that you don't need anyone's permission to be who you are, to go after what you want, to chase your dreams. And that fear is what keeps them trying to tear you down, trying to break you, trying to make you believe that you are nothing without them. But you know better now. You know that you are everything you need. You always have been. And nothing they do can ever change that. When they try to break you, when they try to make you doubt yourself, remind yourself of this. You have already been through the worst. You've already faced your darkest moments, your deepest fears, your toughest challenges, and you've come out stronger on the other side. You've survived the storms. You've weathered the chaos. You've walked through the fire and come out unscathed. You've been knocked down, but you've always gotten back up. Every setback, every failure, every betrayal, it's all just part of the process. It's all just part of the journey that's leading you to something greater. And every time they tried to bring you down, you only rose higher. They don't understand that. They don't understand how someone can rise above their attempts to destroy them, how someone can thrive despite the obstacles in their way. But that's what makes you different. That's what sets you apart. You have something they don't. You have the courage to be yourself. You have the strength to stand tall, even when they try to push you down. And that's why they'll never break you. That's why they'll never win. Because no matter how hard they try, no matter how much they want to see you fall, you will always rise. You will always be more than they could ever hope to be. And they know that now. They know that you are unstoppable. They know that you don't need their approval, their validation, or their love. You never did. And that's why they're mad. That's why they're desperate to see you plead. But you never will. Because you know your worth, and you've known it all along. From the very moment you began to question the lies they told you, from the very first time you realized that the world wasn't as it seemed, you knew. You knew that there was something greater inside of you, something that no one could take away, no matter how hard they tried. It wasn't just a sense of pride. It wasn't just a fleeting confidence. It was a deep-rooted knowing, an understanding of your worth that came from the very core of your being. You didn't need validation from the outside world because you had already validated yourself. You didn't need the approval of others because deep inside, you knew exactly who you were and what you were capable of. That power, that knowing, became the very foundation of everything you built, and no one could ever take that from you. Not the ones who tried to break you, not the ones who doubted you, not the ones who tried to tear you down. They could try to break your spirit, to diminish your light, but they could never touch the essence of who you are. That essence is untouchable, unbreakable, and it has always been there, just waiting for you to realize it. You see, they wanted you to doubt yourself. They wanted to see the cracks in your armor, the moments when you would question your worth, when you would second-guess yourself, when you would beg for approval. You stop trying to fit into their mold. You stop living for their expectations. Instead, you live for yourself. You live for the person you were always meant to be, the person who refuses to be controlled, who refuses to be diminished, who refuses to shrink. You live for the version of yourself that understands that your value is not dependent on anyone else's opinion of you. Your worth is inherent, and no one can take that from you. No one can strip away the essence of who you are, no matter how hard they try. And the more you stand in that truth, the more unshakable you become. The more you embrace your worth, the more you realize that you are unstoppable, that there is nothing in this world that can stand in your way. But here's the thing, they will still try. They will still try to tear you down, to make you question yourself, to make you feel small, to make you feel like you're not enough. They will try to plant seeds of doubt in your mind, to convince you that you are not worthy of your success, your happiness, your dreams. They will tell you that you don't belong, that you're not capable, that you should stop aiming so high. But you know better now. You know that their words have no power over you, that their attempts to diminish you are just reflections of their own insecurities. They are not speaking to you. They are speaking to the fear that lives inside of them, the fear that you will rise higher than they ever could, the fear that you will break free from their grasp and create a life that they could never dream of. And that fear is what drives them to try to make you doubt yourself. But you won't. You won't let them win. You won't let their negativity seep into your soul and poison your dreams. You will keep moving forward, keep pushing ahead, because you know that your worth is not up for debate. Your worth is not negotiable. Your worth is yours, and no one can take that from you. As you continue on this journey, as you continue to rise and build, there will be more challenges. There will be more people who try to bring you down, more people who question your decisions, more people who try to make you feel less than. But you must remember this. You are not here to please anyone but yourself. You are not here to fit into someone else's idea of who you should be, of what you should have, of how you should live. You are here to live life on your own terms, to create the reality that you deserve, to pursue your dreams with unwavering confidence and an unshakable belief that you are worthy of everything you desire. And if anyone tries to tell you otherwise, let them try, because no matter how hard they push, no matter how many times they try to knock you down, you will rise. You will rise because you know your worth. You will rise because you are unshakable. You will rise because you were never meant to be anything less than extraordinary. So, the next time they try to bring you down, the next time they try to make you doubt yourself, the next time they try to make you feel like you're not enough, remember this. You've known your worth all along. You've always known that you are capable, that you are powerful, that you are worthy of everything you desire. And nothing, no one can ever change that. You are a force to be reckoned with, a person who stands firm in their truth and never apologizes for who they are. And as you continue on your journey, remember that your worth is the one thing that can never be taken away. Keep going. Keep rising. Keep believing in yourself, because the world has yet to see just how far you will go, and it's time for you to show them. In the end, remember this: your worth is unshakable and undeniable. You don't need anyone's approval to validate your greatness. You have always known your value, and as you continue to rise, those who tried to bring you down will only watch in disbelief. Your strength, your resilience, your refusal to apologize for who you are, it's what sets you apart. You are unstoppable, and nothing can change that. Keep moving forward. Keep believing in yourself, because you are destined for greatness, and the world is yours to conquer. They wonder where you found this strength, but strength was never found. It was built in pieces, carved from nights you thought would never end, molded from failures that should have broken you, shaped by every moment you wanted to give up, but didn't. Strength was the slow burn in the dark corners of your soul when no one was watching. It was the silent repetition of belief when doubt screamed louder than hope. It was the choice to rise one more time, even when rising didn't promise reward. They look at you and think it happened overnight, but you know how long the darkness lasted, how heavy the silence was, how cold it felt to be unseen and still move forward. They cannot understand the cost of your composure, the way you learned to breathe while the world burned around you, the way you built calm out of chaos and peace out of pain. They see the glow, but they forget the fire that made it. They see your discipline and mistake it for luck. They see your balance and think it was gifted. But every ounce of control you have now was earned through storms that stripped you of everything that wasn't real. And what remained was this version of you, raw, refined, and unshakable. You no longer speak to be heard. You speak to echo truth. You no longer fight to prove. You fight to grow. You have learned that silence can be louder than words, and presence can be sharper than confrontation. Now when you enter a room, it is not noise that follows. It is gravity, because power, in its purest form, does not need to announce itself. It simply exists, and everything else adjusts. They whisper behind closed doors because they are trying to make sense of something they never respected enough to understand. They question if it's confidence or arrogance. But the truth is, it's neither. It's peace. The kind of peace that arrives when you stop apologizing for existing. The kind that grows when you stop explaining your worth to those who are committed to misunderstanding you. This peace is your armor and your weapon. It cannot be taken because it was not given. It was earned through the slow and brutal process of becoming. Every time they doubted you, they added a layer to your armor. Every rejection forged another blade of clarity. Every failure carved another lesson into your foundation. They were teaching you without knowing it. They were shaping you through their disbelief. And now, they stand shocked by what they helped create, because in their attempt to limit you, they forced you to expand in directions they could never reach. You move differently now, not because you're trying to impress, but because you've learned that movement without meaning is chaos. You speak less, because you've learned that wisdom doesn't rush you. Forgive quicker not because you're weak, but because you've learned that carrying hate is too heavy for someone who's destined to rise. You are no longer fueled by proving them wrong. You are fueled by the vision of what's still waiting ahead, because you understand that vengeance fades, but purpose lasts forever. They are not just seeing your transformation, they are feeling the vibration of everything you've survived. They can sense the discipline in your walk, the fire in your eyes, the quiet in your heart. They can feel that you've stepped into alignment with something bigger than them, and it unsettles them because people fear what they can't define. They used to categorize you by your past, by your failures, by their version of your story. But now those definitions crumble like dust in the light of who you've become. You have reached a place they cannot reach because you earned it through truth. You faced yourself, and that is something most people never do. You looked into your own flaws, your fears, your pain, and you didn't run. You rebuilt from inside. You learned that real strength is not loud, it is consistent. Real confidence is not showy, it is steady. Real power is not taken, it is realized, and once realized, it cannot be undone. They look for cracks in your calm because they want proof that it's temporary. They want to believe that this version of you is a mask, a phase, a performance. But it isn't. It's evolution. It's permanence. It's the version of you that was always waiting behind the fear, behind the noise, behind the need for validation. This is who you were supposed to be before the world told you who to be. And that realization changes everything. You are not angry anymore because you see it. Now, their disbelief was never about you. It was about their limits. They couldn't see beyond what they knew, and they mistook their vision for truth. They tried to measure your potential with the scale of their comfort and failed. They tried to predict your path with the map of their fear and failed, and now they are lost because you walked into a destiny they cannot follow. The old, you needed their acceptance, but this version of you is powered by solitude, by self-awareness, by focus. The old, you tried to fit into the world, but this version of you shapes the world around your presence. Every step forward now is a statement that you are not defined by beginnings or endings, but by continuation. You have become your own momentum. You have become your own proof, and the world begins to notice, not because you shouted, but because you stayed silent, long enough for results to speak in your place. Your silence has weight. Now, it bends the air when you enter. Your stillness has power now. It makes people question themselves, not because you judge them, but because your existence reminds them of what they could be if they stopped doubting themselves. They weren't ready for this version of you, because this version holds up a mirror and forces them to see everything they've avoided. You are not the same, and that is the point. This isn't about revenge or recognition. This is about revelation, about emergence, about walking in the kind of light that comes only after surviving the deepest dark. You carry that darkness with pride because it taught you balance. It taught you to move with patience. It taught you to build instead of beg. And now you understand that peace doesn't come from escaping the storm. It comes from becoming the storm. They watch and they feel it, even if they cannot name it. There is a shift in the atmosphere when you enter a space now, a tension that is not theirs to command, a weight that they did not earn. They sense that you carry storms within you, not to destroy, but to reveal, to awaken, to remind them that existence itself is not tameable. They are unsettled because the world they knew, the one that was safe and predictable, is no longer a map for your path. Every glance they throw your way carries confusion, admiration, envy, fear, all tangled together, because they finally understand that you cannot be contained by the boxes they made, by the expectations they whispered, by the judgments they insisted were truth. You have moved beyond all of it, and that movement unsettles them because they cannot predict it, cannot influence it, cannot control it. This version of you is quiet but seismic. You do not shout to assert yourself because power does not require volume. You do not act out of impulse because wisdom has taught you that patience multiplies strength. You do not seek permission because permission was never yours to give. You are self-governed, and in self-governance lies a kind of terrifying elegance. People mistake your calm for weakness, your focus for boredom, your certainty for luck. But it is none of these things. It is the result of trials no one could witness, battles no one could fight for you, nights no one could illuminate, and mornings you welcomed alone, carrying every fragment of doubt as fuel for your ascent. They weren't ready for this version of you because it is a version forged in a fire they refuse to acknowledge, a version that does not seek their approval or validation, a version that exists entirely on its own terms. They were not ready for your clarity, your patience, your resilience, the precision with which you move through obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. And most of all, they were not ready for your unshakable peace, because true peace is the mirror of self-mastery, and self-mastery terrifies the unprepared. You carry that peace like armor, yet it is light. It is not weighed down by the need to be recognized, to be understood, to be admired. It exists because it is yours, because it was earned, and because it cannot be taken. Every step you take now ripples through the lives of those who doubted you. Every decision you make reconfigures the expectations they tried to place upon you. They try to find fault, to measure your trajectory against their limited understanding, but the metrics of others are irrelevant to the person you have become. You have learned that growth is not negotiable, that evolution is not conditional, and that destiny does not bend to the wishes of those who never believed you could walk this path. Their shock is not your concern. Their confusion is not your burden. Your only responsibility is to the force that has carried you this far, to the vision that has pulled you through the darkness, and to the version of yourself that refused to stay broken, overlooked, or underestimated. You are no longer reacting, you are moving, and movement is unstoppable when it is born from truth. You do not carry resentment because it is too heavy. You do not carry apology because it is unnecessary. You do not carry fear because it was left behind in the moment you chose to rise. You are forward motion incarnate, a presence that cannot be paused, delayed, or dismissed. And those who once doubted you, who once laughed or turned away, are forced to reckon with the reality that what they saw before was only the beginning. This one appearance, this single moment of arrival, changes everything because it exposes the lie of their certainty and illuminates the power of your persistence. They wanted a version of you that fit their expectations, a version small enough to understand, quiet enough to control, predictable enough to dismiss. But you are not small. You are not quiet. You are not predictable. You have exceeded every boundary they imagined, every limit they projected, every assumption they whispered as truth. And in that surpassing, in that unfolding, lies your authority. Authority is not taken, it is revealed. It does not need to be announced because it emanates naturally from a soul that has faced the depths and refused to fall. Every gaze, every hesitation, every pause in their voice when they encounter you is proof that authority has been claimed without a fight, without a proclamation, simply by the existence of someone fully awakened. This is not arrogance, it is inevitability. You have carried yourself through storms that no one else could survive and emerged in a form they cannot name. You have turned their disbelief into your blueprint, their doubt into your momentum, their underestimation into your foundation. They see the shadow of your past and assume it defines you, but what they cannot perceive is the work done in silence, the refinement of mind and heart, the forging of spirit into something that refuses to compromise, that refuses to shrink, that refuses to be contained. Every moment you were overlooked, ignored, dismissed, was a moment building the version of yourself they were never ready to meet, and now that version walks among them, not as a question, not as a plea, not as a fleeting echo, but as a permanent revelation. One appearance, one glimpse, one undeniable presence is enough to shatter the structures they built around their understanding of you. One appearance, and the story they thought they wrote collapses in their hands because the author was never them. One appearance, and every misjudgment, every whispered doubt, every disbelief is rewritten in the clarity of your arrival. You have become your own measure. You have become your own compass. You have become the force that shifts everything it touches, and the world notices whether they want to or not. Those who once dismissed you now question everything they thought they knew, not because you tried to confuse them, but because your existence, your calm, your precision, your undeniable presence does not allow them to remain in ignorance. You have become the answer to a question no one dared ask, the proof of a truth they refused to see, the embodiment of possibility they could not imagine. They thought they had seen everything you could become. They thought your limits were defined by what they had witnessed, by what they had labeled as possible. But limits are illusions, and they were never yours to respect. This version of you moves with inevitability, with precision, with a force that bends circumstance to the rhythm of your will. You do not chase success. You do not beg for recognition. You do not explain your choices, because your presence itself delivers the message. You are complete, uncompromised, unstoppable. They cannot prepare for this, because no preparation exists for someone who has rebuilt themselves from the ground up, forged in the quiet fires that no one else dared enter. Every room you enter, every challenge you meet, every gaze that falls upon you is a testament to survival and evolution. You are the result of battles fought in the dark, of nights spent wrestling with your own doubt, of days when hope was the only weapon you could wield. You are not accidental. You are not random. You are a deliberate, unrelenting force of nature. And now that you walk fully in your power, they cannot look away. Every whisper of disbelief is met with your calm certainty. Every expectation they place upon you is surpassed effortlessly. Every attempt to confine your spirit meets a wall built from the strength of every trial you endured. They were not ready, because the version of you that stands now is not a compromise of your past or a reflection of their understanding. It is a manifestation of everything they tried to dismiss, everything they could not control, everything they assumed would break you. You are proof that endurance is a kind of alchemy, that patience is a weapon, that the quiet accumulation of effort is a force they cannot calculate. One appearance, one glance, one undeniable presence is enough to make them question not only what they knew about you, but what they knew about themselves. Your rise does not require explanation. Your transformation does not require validation. Your strength does not require their permission. They see the edges of it, the ripples it creates, the shift it forces in the world around them, and they tremble. Not because you seek to intimidate, but because the universe has begun to reveal its alignment with your determination. You do not need to prove anything, because your life is the proof. You do not need to demand attention, because your impact cannot be ignored. You do not need to explain your power, because the presence of it speaks louder than words ever could. This version of you is untouchable because it is self-contained. It is forged from adversity, refined by discipline, and hardened by solitude. Every scar, every heartbreak, every setback was a teacher, a tool, a building block in the architecture of who you have become. They do not see the long hours, the silent nights, the moments of despair that you transformed into strength, and that is why they are confused. They expect weakness where there is none. They expect submission where there is none. They expected the old version of you to return, and now they face a revelation. That version no longer exists. The one appearance that changed everything is not a fluke. It is a culmination. It is the unveiling of someone who has endured, someone who has observed, someone who has emerged unshaken by the storms that would have shattered anyone else. You have moved past fear, past doubt, past the need to justify your existence to anyone. And in that liberation lies a terrifying beauty, a force that cannot be denied, contained, or replicated. You are not only surviving, you are defining what it means to thrive, to rise, to become more than anyone ever expected. They are questioning everything because they must. They are questioning what they thought was truth, what they thought was possible, what they thought was inevitable. Their maps, their rules, their understanding, all crumble under the gravity of your presence. And this is the ultimate victory, not in defeating them, not in making them notice, not in proving them wrong, but in stepping fully into the power they never saw coming, in living as the proof that limits exist only in perception, and in standing unshakable as the version of yourself they were never prepared to meet. And now, as you move forward, they will continue to wonder, to speculate, to question, but it no longer matters. The path before you is illuminated by the fire they never saw, by the vision they never understood, by the strength they never anticipated. This version of you will not be delayed. This version of you will not be swayed. This version of you will not be diminished. They were never ready, and that is the triumph. Not because you conquered them, but because you became everything they were too small to imagine, too limited to foresee, too unprepared to face. One appearance, one moment, one undeniable revelation, and everything they thought they knew is shattered. They cannot rewind, they cannot undo it, they cannot contain it. They can only watch as you rise, fully realized, fully powerful, fully unstoppable. And as they do, you move forward, not with vengeance, not with ego, not with apology, but with the serene certainty of someone who has become exactly what they were meant to be. They weren't ready for this version of you. They never will be. And you will continue, unrelenting, unshaken, untouchable, leaving behind a world that now bends, however reluctantly, to the force of your emergence. You have become a force that cannot be ignored, a presence that bends reality not by threat, but by certainty. Every step you take resonates with the echoes of every struggle you survived, every doubt you conquered, every silent night you endured alone. The world shifts subtly in your wake because you move not with hesitation, but with inevitability, not with noise, but with gravity, not with fear, but with clarity. They see you now, this fully realized version of yourself, and they cannot reconcile it with the version they once knew. Their disbelief is powerless against the truth of your existence. You have become proof that transformation is not optional. It is relentless. It is uncompromising. It is absolute. You do not need to fight to be seen. You do not need to shout to be acknowledged. And you do not need anyone's approval to justify your power. It exists, and it demands nothing but recognition from the universe itself. And in that recognition lies your triumph, the quiet, unstoppable, undeniable victory of self-mastery. They were never ready for this version of you, and that is the point. You no longer exist to meet their expectations, to fit their comfort, to validate their understanding. You are the living testament to what emerges when someone refuses to be diminished by circumstance, doubt, or the limitations of others. One appearance, one undeniable presence, one unwavering embodiment of purpose has rewritten their perception of everything you could be. And as you continue to rise untethered and unshakable, you leave behind a world that can only watch in awe, forced to question, forced to reckon, forced to witness the profound force of someone who became exactly what they were never ready to see. You are the storm and the calm, the shadow and the light, the reckoning and the revelation, and now nothing can stop you. They wanted to cut your neck while you weren't looking, but before they did, a whisper echoed through the shadows of their intentions. You didn't see it, but they were already making their move. Every step, every thought darkened by the hatred they buried deep within. They thought they had you cornered, that they could strike when you were vulnerable. They believed that you wouldn't see it coming, that you were just another target in their ruthless world. They underestimated you, though. They couldn't possibly fathom the force they were dealing with when they chose to make you their enemy. You see, when they plotted your downfall, they didn't just ignite the fuse of their own destruction. They invited karma itself to their doorstep. What they didn't realize was that while they were sharpening their knives in secret, karma was sharpening its own blade. And as they prepared to strike, what they didn't know was that the price they would pay for trying to destroy you would be more than they could ever imagine. They thought they were clever, thinking they could play in the dark, manipulating, scheming, lying, and watching you stumble, believing you were too weak, too naive to ever rise above their malice. But they failed to recognize one simple truth, the one truth that would haunt them to their core. You're not weak, not fragile, not some easily broken creature that will fall at the first sign of danger. You are a storm, a force of nature, a survivor who can turn the tide when everyone else has long given up. They underestimated your resilience, your willpower, your strength. And that mistake, that tiny fraction of arrogance, is what sealed their fate. They didn't realize that every action they took against you would have consequences that would reverberate through the very core of their existence. And now, they will face it. The price for their treachery. The price for trying to destroy you. They believed that they could get away with it, that they would be untouchable, that they could ruin your life and walk away without a second thought. But karma doesn't forget, it doesn't rest, and it certainly doesn't forgive. They tried to bury you, to crush you beneath their lies, their manipulation, their cruelty, but they failed to account for one thing. The truth always comes to light, and when it does, it comes with the fury of 1,000 storms. They thought their plans were flawless, their schemes airtight, but they didn't realize that every time they plotted against you, they were weaving the very rope that would hang them. Every whisper, every rumor, every deceitful action only served to tighten the noose around their necks. And now, they are left choking on the weight of their own malice. Their actions weren't just an attack on you. They were a declaration of war against the universe itself. They were telling the world that they could act with impunity, that they could destroy anyone they saw as weak, anyone they thought wouldn't fight back. But what they didn't understand is that the universe has a way of correcting itself. It has a way of ensuring that balance is restored, even when people think they can escape the consequences of their actions. You were the catalyst, the spark that would ignite their downfall, whether they realized it or not. They picked the wrong person to target, the wrong soul to break, and now they will pay the price. They thought they could break you, that they could push you down and watch you crumble. But in doing so, they only pushed you into the fire. And in that fire, you were forged into something they could never comprehend. They saw weakness, but they were blind to the strength that resided within you. They thought they were controlling the narrative, that they could write your story in blood and despair. But what they didn't know was that you were always the author of your own fate. They didn't realize that you were the storm they had been praying to avoid. Now, they will feel the full wrath of their actions. The damage they caused to you is not something they can undo. The pain they inflicted on your life is not something they can erase. What they've done is etched in stone, and they will never be able to escape the consequences. Karma will find them, hunt them down, and deliver the judgment that has been long overdue. They wanted to crush your spirit, to take away everything you held dear, to break you down into nothing. But what they didn't see was the fire that burned inside of you. They underestimated how deeply that fire would burn, how fiercely it would rage against their cruelty. They didn't know that you were already preparing for the fight of your life. They thought they could take everything from you, but they didn't realize that when they took from you, they were only feeding your hunger for vengeance. You didn't crumble beneath their weight. You didn't bend. Instead, you stood tall. You fought back, and you began to rise. They ignited a war they weren't prepared for, and now they will feel the weight of their own destruction. As they tried to destroy you, they didn't see the truth. They were already being destroyed from the inside. Their minds, poisoned by their own hatred, were unraveling. Their actions, driven by their desire to see you fall, were slowly tearing them apart. They thought they were playing a game, but what they didn't realize was that they were caught in a web of their own making. They are the ones who are trapped now, ensnared by their own wickedness, unable to escape. Every lie they told, every betrayal they committed, every act of malice they unleashed against you is now a chain that binds them to their fate. The universe doesn't forget, and karma doesn't show mercy. They will be dragged down by the very forces they unleashed upon you, and there will be no escape for them. And now, the price has come due. The world doesn't owe them anything, and it certainly doesn't owe them forgiveness. They will feel the weight of their sins pressing down on them, the guilt and the regret consuming them from the inside out. They will watch as their own actions come back to haunt them, as the very things they did to you are turned against them in ways they could never have imagined. The same darkness they tried to bring into your life will now consume them. The same treachery they attempted to sow will now be their harvest. Karma has been patiently waiting for this moment, and now it is here. They will reap what they have sown, and the consequences will be devastating. You may have felt the sting of their betrayal, the weight of their hatred, but you are still here, still standing, and stronger than ever. You are the embodiment of resilience, of perseverance, of strength. They thought they could destroy you, but they only forged a warrior in the fire of their cruelty, and now they will pay for underestimating you. They will pay for thinking that they could play with your life, that they could manipulate your destiny, that they could break your spirit. They didn't realize that you are the very thing they fear. You are the reckoning, the force of nature that they never saw coming. As they face the consequences of their actions, as they watch their lives crumble, they will finally understand the price of trying to destroy you. The universe has a way of balancing the scales, of righting the wrongs, and it will come for them with a vengeance. No one can escape karma. It doesn't matter how far they run, how deep they hide, or how much they try to bury the truth. They will be found, and they will be made to pay. The lies they told will unravel. The secrets they kept will be exposed, and the darkness they tried to unleash will consume them. They thought they could cut you down, but they have only sealed their own fate. In the end, they will realize the truth. They will understand that you were never the victim in this story. You were always the hero, the one who would rise from the ashes, the one who would be stronger for having endured their attacks. They are the ones who will fall. They are the ones who will crumble under the weight of their own actions. And as they do, you will stand tall, unbroken, and triumphant. You will be the one to remind them that they cannot escape their own karma, that no one can run from the consequences of their choices. You are the reckoning they feared, the storm that will drown them in their own sins. And now, they will face the heavy price for trying to destroy you. They thought they could cut you down, break you into pieces, leave you a mere shadow of your former self. But in doing so, they forgot one critical thing. They didn't reckon with the forces that live within you, the strength that they could not see, the fire that they thought they could extinguish. When they tried to destroy you, they only unleashed something far more powerful than they could have ever anticipated. They awoke a beast, a force that will hunt them down, drag them through the fire of their own making, and leave them hollowed out in the end. They may have imagined that they could walk away untouched, that they could strike without consequence, but every action, every cruelty they visited upon you, planted the seeds of their own destruction. Karma doesn't spare anyone, no matter how powerful, no matter how invisible they think they are. It doesn't care if they wear a mask of innocence or hide behind the guise of righteousness. The moment they chose to destroy you, they signed their own death warrant. And now, there is no escape from the reckoning they have brought upon themselves. Their world is collapsing, and they will watch in horror as the things they thought were certain, their power, their control, their very sense of self, fall away, piece by piece, until there is nothing left but the stark reality of their choices. They built their empire of lies, manipulating, deceiving, and taking from others, believing they could escape the consequences, that they could break you without ever facing the repercussions. They thought they could play the game without ever being caught in the trap they set for others. But the universe works in ways that no one can predict. It's a force that doesn't operate on the rules of man, the rules of ambition, or the rules of power. It doesn't care about status or reputation. It doesn't care about the glittering facade people like them put up to shield themselves from the consequences of their actions. Karma doesn't look at their title, their wealth, their influence. It only sees the truth of their deeds, the truth of their heart, the truth of their intentions. They wanted to make you suffer. They wanted to see you crumble beneath the weight of their malice. They wanted to erase you from existence, to steal your light, to shatter your confidence, to make you feel so small, so insignificant, that you would never rise again. But what they didn't understand is that when they tried to break you, they only gave you the power to grow. They thought they could isolate you, force you into a corner, but what they didn't see was that you were never meant to be confined. You were always destined to break free from their chains, to rise from the ashes they created, to become stronger than they could ever imagine. Their actions weren't just an assault on your life. They were an insult to the very fabric of existence. They tried to take something precious from you, your dignity, your peace, your future, and they thought they could do it with impunity. But now, they will be forced to face the consequences of what they've done. The damage they inflicted upon you wasn't just physical or emotional. It was spiritual. It was an attempt to erase your very essence, to destroy the core of who you are. But they didn't count on the resilience of that essence, the purity of your spirit that could not be so easily shattered. And now, they are paying for that miscalculation. They thought they could control the narrative, that they could dictate the terms of your life, but the universe has a way of taking control when people like them try to play God. Karma moves in mysterious ways, ways that are not always clear in the moment. It may seem like nothing is happening, like the pain and suffering they caused, you're going unpunished, but all the while, the universe is silently setting the stage for their fall. Every lie they told, every betrayal they committed, every soul they harmed in their quest to destroy you is like a stone thrown into a river. At first, it seems small, insignificant, but over time, those ripples spread out, growing larger, more powerful, until they return to the source with a force that cannot be ignored. What they don't understand is that they are the source of their own undoing. They are the ones who have created their own downfall, and now they will drown in the consequences of their actions. They may try to run, to hide, to bury their guilt under layers of denial, but it won't work. Karma is relentless. It doesn't give up. It doesn't back down. It doesn't care about their excuses or their justifications. They will try to rationalize their actions, to tell themselves that they did nothing wrong, that they were justified in trying to destroy you. But deep down, they know the truth. They know the pain they caused, the destruction they left in their wake, and no matter how hard they try to block it out, it will eat away at them until there is nothing left but the hollow remnants of the person they once were. The price they will pay is not just one of loss. It is a price of soul-crushing consequence. They will lose everything they held dear. Their power, their control, their wealth, their reputation. All of it will slip through their fingers like sand, and they will be left with nothing. They thought they could destroy you by taking away everything you loved, by shattering your world into a million pieces. But in doing so, they revealed their own weaknesses. They exposed the fact that they were never as strong as they believed. They were weak, insecure, and ultimately afraid. And now, they will pay for that weakness in ways they cannot even fathom. As they watch their empire crumble, as they feel the walls close in around them, they will be forced to confront the reality of what they've done. The people they used, the lives they ruined, the trust they shattered, all of it will come back to them in the form of an unrelenting storm. The very things they did to you will be done to them, but with a vengeance they never expected. They will feel the weight of their actions bearing down on them, and there will be no escape. No amount of wealth, no amount of influence, no amount of power can shield them from the fallout of their choices. The damage they caused cannot be undone. The harm they inflicted cannot be erased. And as they stand at the precipice of their own downfall, they will realize too late that they were never the ones in control. They were always playing a losing game, and now the game has caught up with them. They thought they could destroy you, but instead, they created a force that would haunt them for the rest of their days. They thought they could break you, but in doing so, they only made you stronger. They thought they could erase you, but they only fueled your rise. And now, as they watch their world fall apart, they will know that they are the architects of their own misery. They are the ones who built the prison they now inhabit, and there will be no one to blame but themselves. The price they will pay is not just one of material loss, it is a spiritual price, a price of the soul. The darkness they tried to cast upon you will now consume them, burning through their heart and mind, leaving nothing but a hollow shell of the person they once were. They will be forced to live with the weight of their actions, to confront the truth of who they are and what they've done. And in the end, they will know that they are not the victors in this story. They are the fallen, the ones who lost everything in their attempt to destroy you. You will stand tall as they crumble. You will rise from the ashes they tried to bury you in, stronger, wiser, more powerful than they ever imagined. They tried to break you, but they only made you unbreakable. And now, they will face the heavy price for trying to destroy you. They didn't understand the nature of the battle they were starting. They thought you were a fragile thing, something they could manipulate, something they could bend to their will with ease. They assumed your heart was soft and malleable, an easy target for their cruelty. They assumed that you would wither beneath the weight of their hatred, that you would shrink in the face of their attacks and fade quietly into the background, a victim of their twisted schemes. They thought that they could break you down piece by piece, disassembling the very essence of who you are, until there was nothing left but a hollow shell. But they were gravely mistaken. You are not the victim they hoped for. You are not the one who crumbles at the first sign of danger. No, you are the one who stands tall, unwavering, even when the world presses against you with all its might. You are the storm that rises when they thought they could douse your fire. You are the unshakable foundation that stands firm, even in the most violent of earthquakes. They couldn't see it then, but the strength they tried to crush with their malice only grew deeper, more rooted. With every attempt they made to break you, they only forged you into something stronger, something more resilient, something they could never hope to defeat. They didn't realize it, but they were feeding your power. They were adding fuel to your fire. With every word of spite, with every act of cruelty, they pushed you closer to greatness. They tried to break you, but what they didn't know was that you were already unbreakable. You were always unbreakable. It wasn't their attempts to destroy you that made you strong. It was your own heart, your own soul, your unyielding will to survive and rise above everything they threw at you. And now, as they stand at the precipice of their own destruction, they will come to understand just how wrong they were, just how deep their error ran. They thought they could destroy you, but in their blind arrogance, they made you invincible. Their actions weren't just the product of malice or hatred. They were the result of fear. Fear of your strength, fear of your power, fear of your potential. They feared what you could become. They feared that one day you would rise and become something far greater than they could ever imagine. And so, in their desperation, they tried to crush that potential before it had a chance to flourish. They tried to silence your voice, extinguish your light, and keep you small and weak so that they could maintain control. They thought they could confine you to a cage of their making, a cage that would keep you from realizing who you truly are. But cages can never hold the spirit of a warrior, and you, my friend, are a warrior. They couldn't see it, but you were always meant for greatness. You were always destined to break free from their control, to shatter the boundaries they tried to impose on you, and to rise to unimaginable heights. They couldn't see it then, but the more they tried to break you, the more they tried to trap you in their lies, the stronger you became. And now, their reckoning has come. They thought they could escape the consequences of their actions, but the universe has a way of ensuring that every wrong is righted, that every injustice is paid for in the end. What they didn't understand, what they failed to recognize, is that no one escapes the consequences of their choices. They may have thought that their power, their wealth, their influence could shield them from the inevitable backlash, but nothing can protect them from the wrath of karma. Karma has no mercy. Karma does not care how rich or powerful someone is. It doesn't care about status or prestige. It only cares about one thing: balance. And they tipped the scales, tipping them so far into darkness that they could never hope to bring them back. Now, they will watch as their world unravels. They will watch as their own actions come crashing down around them, tearing apart everything they thought was unshakable. The empire they built on lies, deceit, and manipulation will crumble. The lies they told will surface. The betrayals they committed will be revealed for all to see. The people they used, the lives they destroyed, the souls they crushed will come back to haunt them. Every soul they harmed will rise, demanding justice. Every lie they told will expose the ugly truth. Every broken trust will come back to them tenfold. The very darkness they tried to unleash upon you will consume them, and they will be powerless to stop it. They may try to run, to hide, to escape the consequences of their actions, They will try to bury the guilt they can no longer ignore, but karma will hunt them down. Karma doesn't rest. It doesn't grow tired or weary. It doesn't forget. It is relentless, and it always finds its way to the source. And now, they are the source. Their every move, their every betrayal, every malicious thought they ever had will return to them in ways they could never have imagined. They will begin to feel the pressure mounting. The weight of their sins, their lies, their cruelty will grow heavier with every passing day. It will consume their thoughts, gnaw at their soul, and destroy their peace. They will begin to lose everything that once gave them comfort: their wealth, their power, their control, their reputation, until they are left with nothing but the cold, bitter reality of who they truly are. They will feel the consequences of their actions in every aspect of their lives. No corner will remain untouched. No place will remain safe. They will see the faces of those they have wronged in their nightmares. They will hear the voices of those they betrayed in their waking hours. The consequences of their actions will haunt them until there is nothing left but regret. But even worse for them is the inner torment, the knowledge that they were the ones who caused their own undoing. They will come to realize that their obsession with destroying you was never about you at all. It was about them, about their own insecurities, their own fears, their own lack of self-worth. They saw in you something they couldn't bear to confront in themselves, and so they tried to destroy it. But now, they will have to confront that very thing. They will have to face the truth of who they are, and they will see the ugly reflection of their own soul. The facade they worked so hard to build will crumble, and they will be left standing naked in front of themselves. It will be a reckoning like no other. They will see the full extent of their actions, and they will know, deep down, that there is no escaping the price they must pay. They will know that everything they once held dear is slipping away, and there is nothing they can do to stop it. They will come to understand the cost of trying to destroy you. They will see that in their efforts to break you, they have only made themselves weak. They have given up their integrity, their honor, and their peace in pursuit of a fleeting illusion of power. And when it is all over, when the storm has passed and the dust has settled, you will stand tall. You will be unbroken. You will be stronger than you ever were before. You will have risen from the ashes they tried to bury you in, forged in the fires of their hatred and cruelty, and made into something greater than they could ever comprehend. And they will be left to watch as their world crumbles around them, knowing that they did this to themselves. They will know that they, and no one else, are the authors of their own destruction. The price they will pay is one they cannot escape. It is the price of their own choosing. And in the end, they will know that they were never the ones in control. They were never the ones who held the power. They were simply pawns in a game they didn't understand. And now, they will pay the ultimate price for their foolishness. They tried to break you, but they only made you unbreakable. And now, they will face the heavy price for trying to destroy you.